Day 3 in the books. Rube, how you feeling?
Feel good. I think I've had a good camp. I think I've competed. I'm trying not to think about reps or first team, second team. I'm just kind of trying to just go out there and be me. I think that's all I can do is just be myself.
I had a really original thought today that iron sharpens iron.
I heard that somewhere. Yeah. It's probably true.
I actually don't know if it's true. I don't know how you sharpen iron, but maybe it is iron.
I think it's just an idiomatic phrase, actually.
Okay, that's probably fair enough. This is the Eagle Eye Podcast. We're brought to you by Nissan, Ruben Frank, and Dave Zangaro. A nice warm day out on the practice fields of the NovaCare Complex. It was military day at training camp. Always a fun day out there.
It was military day. It was really cool meeting some of the servicemen who've served our country and thanking them for their service. It was also Diplo 10K day across the street. A little chaotic. Got the dulcet sounds of Diplo as practice ended.
Big Diplo fan?
I would say I'm a big Diplo fan.
Okay.
Well, I did learn a lot about him. He went to Temple. His real name is Thomas Wesley Pence. Rhymes with Wentz.
Okay.
It's a fine line. That's all I got.
Okay. You want to get into some of what we saw in practice today?
Let's do it.
We're now 3 days in. Still no pads. They'll come next week. That's always an exciting day. The pads come on and training camp kind of ratchets up a notch, but we're not quite there yet. The Eagles will kind of set the scene a little bit. On Friday, they had a walkthrough. They were back on the practice field Saturday. Sunday is the first player's day off of training camp. So they get a little bit of a rest, and then next week will really kind of ramp up.
Yeah, I'm guessing pads on Monday. I didn't ask anybody, but it'll be one of those 2 days.
Yeah, I would actually guess, if I had to guess, and I don't know either, I would guess Tuesday.
Could be Tuesday.
You kind of ramp up one day and then get it. But next week, it'll be a lot of fun. Whenever they do go on, it'll be a fun sight. The first player, it'll probably be like Jake Elliott, the first player we see, but it'll be in pads and we'll know what's coming. Housekeeping, let's start there. The injury report did change a little bit on day 3 in the right direction. Jalen Carter still not practicing, shoulder injury, but the bit of news here, Kenyon Green with that knee injury was able to practice on Saturday. Him, Jihaad Campbell, and Cam Jurgens, the 3 guys now listed as limited.
Yeah, and he's got to be out there. Kenyon Green knows that. If he's got any chance to make the team, he's going to have to be out there. So it's a good development for him.
And as far as Jalen Carter goes, I get it. Like once you get to like 3, 4, 5 days, people start to worry. My understanding is it's nothing too serious. If it was, he would have been on a list to start camp. They expect him back at some point.
Yeah, he ran out there at the end of practice and to be with the team when they broke down. So, yeah, I'm not too worried.
Yeah, as long as he's healthy on September 4th, I think that's kind of all you have to worry about with Jalen Carter.
Yeah, it's all the Cowboys have to worry about. They're probably hoping, hey, maybe you'll miss the opener. Not happening, Dallas.
Yeah, not going to happen. Fletcher Cox on the practice field today. Good to see him. He's really slimmed down since playing in the NFL. He looks like a completely different dude.
Yeah, he does. And you see that a lot with the linemen, especially the interior guys. You don't recognize them at first, and you look at their face and like, wow. I remember the first time I saw Todd Herman's.
Yeah, he slimmed down a lot.
He lost like 100 pounds. And he's like, hey, Rube. I'm like, I'm sorry, who are you? But yeah, it was good to see Fletch.
Good to see Fletch. We've now seen Kelsey. We've seen Fletch. I'd imagine at some point soon we'll see BG.
He must be out of town because I'm shocked. He would have been my guess for being the first guy out there on day 1.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, maybe it's hard for him.
Could be.
You know, he's new to this. The other 2 guys have gone through a year of being retired. So it's a new experience for BG.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't love it.
I don't know.
Maybe he does.
Yeah. Let's get into depth chart stuff, and then we'll take some notes from the actual practice. I think the most significant depth chart note today is Jihaad Campbell took some first-team reps. And I do want to clarify like the type of first-team reps, because it wasn't like he was out there at the beginning of a practice period and he's with the first-team defense. Most of these reps were like at the end of periods when they're starting to like, it's not the entire starting defense anymore, but he was still going against the starting offense.
Yeah, and we knew this was coming, and I think that the percentage of reps he gets with the ones is going to gradually increase. Look, he's a first-round pick. You didn't draft him to be a backup, but it's good to see. It's good to see, especially, this is like bonus time for him because we originally thought we wouldn't even see him until maybe next week at the earliest. So to see him out here, not just practicing, and he just looks good when you watch him run and move. Just looks like a veteran. And look, it's not a lot to go on yet. Like Dave said, no pads, but so far so good. He looks like a guy that belongs on a football field.
Yeah, and I think this is like the soft launch of getting him first team reps. I think it's a nice, easy way to do that. You're already kind of rotating a little bit. You bring him in, you get him some looks against the first team offense. But at a certain point, you would think he'll just be out there next to Zach Bond or next to Jeremiah Trotter Jr. to start a practice period, or at least getting more consistent first team reps. I think that's probably coming pretty soon.
I would think so, and you want to make him earn it. You don't want to just hand it to him, but you also want to get him enough reps because he's going to be playing. So you don't want to play any games. You got to get him out there with the ones so he has enough practice time by the time the season starts.
What do you want to go next, corner or safety?
Let's go corner.
Corner. Adoree Jackson, the first guy up at the right cornerback position. And that was a little surprising to me because I thought they were going to go like every other day. So they started camp. Keely Ringo was the first guy up. Day 2, it was Adoree Jackson. So I kind of expected Keely Ringo out there on the very first rep of 11s today, and it wasn't. It was Adoree Jackson. And look, after that, they rotated. We saw plenty of Keely with the first team, but Adoree was the first guy out there today.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say Keely has struggled at times a bit so far in the early days. You don't want to get carried away with it because no pads and all that, but
A.J. Brown's pretty good.
Yeah, but he's also struggled against some other guys. Mm-hmm. You almost throw those reps away because he's playing against Superman. But you'd probably like to see a little more consistency from Keely, and I'm guessing that has something to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was part of the plan to do it this way, or if there might be some other reasons why they're deploying the rotation the way they are. But it was a little bit of a surprise for me to see Adoree out there first.
Yeah, I mean, there could be another reason, but I think they went into this camp wanting Keely Ringo to win that job. So, and he still might, obviously, but to see Adoree getting the reps with the ones to start out 2 days in a row, I think it might tell you something.
Yeah. At safety, we saw Cooper DeJean in the base package. In the nickel, he slides up, and then it was Sidney Brown. Drew Makuba worked in as well quite a bit. So those two guys are really the two fighting for that job.
Yeah, Makuba got dinged. I don't think he came out of practice, but they both look fine. They both look good. So far, so good. Yeah.
The Eagles did use some of their dime package today, so 6 defensive backs on the field. And when they did that, Makuba was like the extra guy out there, and they had Sidney Brown and Reed Blankenship as safety.
Sidney, we'll get into who we talked to, but kind of forget. I mean, Sidney, he missed all of camp last year. He was a rookie of the year before. It's really his first camp that he's kind of feels comfortable and confident. It's good to see him back out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. And we'll see what happens with him. I think there is something to the idea that he got drafted by the previous regime, and at least defensive coordinator wise. And I do think that matters. Like, I think Vic might have a preference here, but if he outplays Andrew Makuba, he's going to play.
Yeah.
All right. On offense, not as many notes, but Kenyon Green was the third team left guard, so he's got to work his way up. I know there was the thought when they got him in that CJ Gardner-Johnson trade that he'd be competing for a starting gig. He's with the third team on his first day of camp, so he's got a long way to go.
And it's not even right guard.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Good that he's back out there, but, yeah, not super bullish on him.
Mm-hmm. Tyler Steen, third day in a row, right guard. He's now made it farther than he did last year when he got hurt on day 3. So, it's funny because it's like it's his job to lose, and it's really not news until someone else is in there. As long as it's him, it's him. But we're going to continue to note it every day because it is important. It's the only spot on that offense that we don't definitely know who's starting.
Yeah, it's clearly his job to lose, and the only way he gives up any first-team reps is if he really struggles. So if you see someone else in there at right guard, you'll know that's what happened.
And we'll get into Tyler Steen a little bit later because I want to talk about the guy he's been facing a lot in camp. But, yeah, I still think he needs to be a little more consistent. It was weird. Dorian Thompson-Robinson got one second-team rep today, and it must have just been whatever play they wanted to run because he's clearly not competing for that job. But I will give him credit. DTR had a pretty good day today.
Yeah, it looked like the ball actually had a chance coming out of his hand. So, yeah, he was better.
Yeah, and I don't think he's been, we've seen a lot worse quarterbacks than him. It's actually like a beautiful thing to have 4 quarterbacks in a camp who can play a little bit because we've been in some years where, that third and maybe fourth quarterback, those reps almost are like worthless. So
I've covered teams where the first team quarterback is. So
that's probably true.
Before your time, but yeah.
Yeah, but to have 4 quarterbacks who can run the offense a little bit, it really matters. And it doesn't just matter for them or the offense. It matters for everyone. You need, if the quarterback is awful, no one's getting anything out of the reps.
It just brings the whole practice down, the whole level. Receivers aren't getting the work they need because they have no chance. Corners aren't getting the work they need. Yeah, that's why there's been years where you just see the third QB just doesn't get any reps because there's no point in having them do it.
Yeah. The Eagles have been doing this new drill. I think it's called a circle drill. We saw Dory Jackson catch a pass in it the other day. Today, Cooper DeJean got a chance to catch a pass. It's basically 2 DBs and a receiver. The first DB is like covering, and then the second DB has to get to a cone and then come back and form tackle. Not actually tackling, but line it up. So Cooper DeJean got to catch a pass. That's fun.
And we've seen that recently. It's not as a receiver, though, but yeah, we have seen him catch a pass, if you remember.
What game was that?
It was Chiefs, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Top kick returner pairing. I know I'm in the weeds here a little bit, but we'll just go through the first one. It was Avery Williams and Will Shipley. So I think Will Shipley definitely on the team. Avery Williams has to make the roster, but I think it's likely if those two are both on the team, that'll be the top pairing at kick returner.
Yeah, it was weird because Williams wasn't doing it the other day, but as soon as I saw him.
Well, he didn't do punt return the other day.
Right. And that's all he did. Mm-hmm. So when he was out there, I was just kind of looking for you, and I saw you writing stuff down, so I knew you picked up on that.
Yeah. I want to just go through some of the big plays and stuff today. I thought the play of the day was the A.J. Brown catch over Keely Ringo, and it was a period of practice where it was all third down work, and they were keeping score offense versus defense, and the defense had won the first 4 plays. The offense was sputtering a little bit. It's nice to have A.J. Brown when the offense sputters a little bit because Jalen Hurts just rears back, throws a beautiful ball down the right sideline, right in the breadbasket. A.J. just beats Keely Ringo, who I thought had pretty tight coverage, which has kind of been a theme for Keely through 3 days. He's close, but you like to see him make a play. Can't fault him too much for this one. A.J. is just really good, and he was excited after it. He threw the ball in the air about 30 yards.
It went farther when he threw it than the pass did.
But it's just a reminder that, to have A.J. Brown in your offense, it's just a cheat code at times. It's if everything else goes to hell and it's not working, throw it to that guy.
Yeah, it was a fun. I was on the opposite sideline, so at first we couldn't see if he was in bounds. You were kind of in the end zone.
I was in the end zone.
Yeah, but then we remembered that there's a big screen, so we kind of ran over there and we saw that he was well in bounds. It was just another reminder of his greatness. And he doesn't go into slumps. I mean, it's impossible. So if things aren't going well, just find number 11. He's going to catch it. And
overall, I don't think it was Jalen's sharpest day of practice. The ball hit the ground a little bit more.
A couple drops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There were some drops. I'm thinking like the Dallas Goedert in the end zone one. Like wouldn't really call it a drop.
It was close.
Yeah. It was just a little off offensively today. Not a bad thing. And it was like, I also think Jalen attacked downfield a little bit more. He wasn't as conservative, which is something we actually talked to Kevin Patullo about, like in practice, what it's for. And if you want to try to take some chances, and he's of the belief that you should take some chances in practice. And I think we saw a little bit more of that from Jalen today.
Yeah, I think so too. It was clearly that he was clearly looking down the field more than the first couple of days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which makes for a more exciting practice.
I think Dotson had a drop too. Middle of the field.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think so, but that's okay. They did a red zone period and back-to-back touchdown passes to Devontae Smith. And it got me thinking, Devontae's better in the red zone than you'd expect him to be for being like a slight build receiver. He catches a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, and I think he's stronger and tougher than you would assume if you haven't watched him play from his build. The one in the front of the end zone, I mean, he just showed how strong his hands are by holding on to that ball. I forget who the D-back was on that one.
Cooper.
Oh, it was Cooper, yeah. I mean, Cooper's had his hands on the ball, but Devontae didn't let go of it, and he had the possession. Yeah, he's for a skinny, slight guy, he's really strong and physical and tough.
So on the first one, it was an 11-yard one. He beat Cooper DeGene. On the second one, it was Smile Mondon, the linebacker in zone coverage. He was able to get in front of him and get into the end zone.
That's a pretty good matchup for the offense.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like it was man coverage, but yeah, I get your point. And they move him around quite a bit. We've seen Devontae in the slot quite a bit already in this camp, which I've always liked him in the slot. I think he gets some really good matchups that way. And last year, like they used him a lot inside, and I expected them to maybe use AJ a lot inside, and they kind of didn't as much.
Yeah, and I think Devontae's had a good few days here. He's just looks great.
Yeah, it's nice when you have. It's funny after a while. We spend so much time talking about some of these guys trying to make the roster. We talk about the scheme, and then every once in a while, you just got to step back and say, this team has AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert. Like they're just loaded.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dallas Goedert, he's been frequently targeted through 3 days.
Sure was a lot today.
Yeah. There was the one down the field today. Really used his body well against the rookie Drew Makuba, which is, I think notable when we're talking about both of those players. Goedert has shown an ability to do that in his career, and Makuba is a little bit undersized as a safety. And I think that one of the fears with him, and not saying he can't do it, but is that he's going to face some of these bigger bodies, bigger tight ends, and he's not going to be able to get to the football. And that's what happened on this play.
Yeah. But he's also new at this, and that there are certainly smaller safeties his size who are good. So, but yeah, that's a tough matchup. But yeah, got to look good on that one. He had the one. I don't know. Would you call the other one a drop?
No, that was a tough play.
Tough play.
Back of the end zone.
Yeah.
It would have been a spectacular catch.
It would have. It would have. But I think he's been really good too. You watch Dallas Goedert, and I can't help thinking every time in camp, every year since 2018, if he could have a full season, what would you have? If he could play 16, 17 games, what would it look like? We've never found out. Be fun to find out.
Sure would. In camp, he sees, I would say, second most balls to AJ, and that's anecdotal. He sees the football a ton.
He does.
Yeah,
he's a really good player.
Would you agree with that? Second to AJ?
Yeah, I think so.
Quinyon had another pass breakup today. This one against Devontae. The one earlier in camp came against AJ Brown. So we're willing to throw away the Keely Ringo ones against these players, but Quinyon Mitchell is making plays. Like this was the ball was there to Devontae. Q stayed with him step for step the entire way. Actually didn't turn his head on this one, but read Devontae and got his hand in there to break up the pass. It's just, he has the ability to just wipe away receivers. It's really impressive. There aren't many cornerbacks in the league who can do that, and he's one of them.
Yeah, that combination of preparation, instincts, physical attributes, he's fun to watch. And yeah, I mean, I think I'm on the record saying he'll be a Pro Bowler this year. I'd be surprised if he's not. He's that good. And if anything, he might even look better than last year. I don't know if that's possible, but he's just so sticky.
I mean, I think he definitely does.
Yeah, it seems that way, right?
You mean in camp?
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely better than he was in camp.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, I think he can be a better player during the regular season. I mean, he didn't have any picks during the regular season, which he could have had 4 or 5 probably. And then he finally got a couple in the postseason. But
CJ's not on the team anymore, so he's got a better shot
in front of him. But man, it's just fun watching his reps. He's so technically sound. Like you watch Keely, and I don't want to beat up on Keely, but like you watch a Keely rep and then a Quinion rep, and it's like there's no extra movement. There's no, extraneous. I don't know. It's just he's so clean and consistently just does the right thing, and it's fun to watch.
The thing that strikes me about him, the more I watch him, is like he is so fast, but he doesn't look like you don't think of him as being like this burner.
He's not straining. He's just running fast.
It's really smooth. He kind of glides, and to see him just step for step with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, and not that he did it to really good receivers in games last year, but to see these two and to see it day in and day out, he's just a really fun player to watch.
Yeah, one of the most fun on the team, I think.
Mm-hmm. We mentioned Tyler Steen. The guy he's been going up against is giving him some fits. It's Moro Ojomo, the third-year defensive tackle. He's been in the backfield quite a bit.
He has been, yeah. And, I mean, that's his game. And he's disruptive. He is. He
had what I would call a sack in this practice. It's always like, is it a sack? Is it not a sack? What are we calling? Did the whistle blow? Should have it blown? But he's been in the backfield. And for a guy he doesn't have any career sacks in the regular season in 25 games, but there's a lot of buzz around him in that building. They think he can be pretty good.
Yeah. And, he's a little smallish, but I think he's going to be one of those guys that can be a 6 or 7 sack guy. 6 sacks, I think would be a good number for him. I think that's his strength.
You would love that. I mean, that's what Milton had.
Yeah, I know. Well, and that's what Milton had last year. The year before, he had 1.5 or something?
He might have had 0.
2 years ago, Milton, he had a very low number.
He had 0.5.
So we're both wrong, but we're both close. But he had 11.5 in 4 years and got $100 million. But he was also he was probably a little bigger than Moro. Not a lot.
Yeah, he's bigger.
A little bigger.
Yeah. And, he better against the run. I don't think anyone would argue against that. But they're excited about what Mo can bring as a disruptor. And, yeah, I think there's something there.
Do you think do you see him as a third down guy only?
No, not only. I mean, with the structure of this team, that might be his role. We'll see how it goes because you have like Jalen Carter's not leaving the field. They don't run a ton of 5-man anymore. So like maybe on some first downs he's out there because he's the next guy in. Like that's kind of been the case early in camp. And I would imagine they'd have Jalen Carter, Jordan, and Moro out there when they're in their base. You would think either way, like you kind of have the pieces to make it work between him and Jordan, right?
Yeah.
So I know Jordan would probably like to get some more third downs, but he's got to earn that. Whereas Moro, I think, obviously is kind of built for that.
Right. You put it together and you have you should have pretty much every down and distance covered.
Special teams were fun today. The one-on-one battles.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of good ones. I just highlighted a few in my notes here, but Saquon actually took a rep, and he's not getting hit or anything. He's not blocking. He's basically the return man in this, is doing nothing but catching the ball and running and juking a little bit. But still, it's like whenever Saquon is out there, you're like, well, I don't know if this is what we need to be doing here. But Jalen Hunt beat his guy clean and then would have had a clear shot on Saquon. And he let everyone know that he would have had a clear shot on Saquon.
Yeah, it was pretty funny back and forth there. And then he also talked about just how much respect he has for him and how much he can learn from him, which is kind of cool. Hearing a guy like Jalen Hunt talk about how much he can learn from a guy like Saquon, who their positions aren't very similar. But it was a little good little trash talk in there.
Yeah. I also highlighted the Jihaad Campbell one. I don't know how much he's going to play on special teams. As a rookie, I would think he'll have some sort of role on teams, but if he does play, he's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, he probably won't have much of a role if he's playing as much as I think he is. But if you're a rookie linebacker, it can be some role for you, maybe 4 to 6 snaps a game. But if he was a full-time special teamer,
he'd be really good.
He'd be really good.
Yeah, he had one play today. He just beat Dallas Gant clean. And Dallas Gant's a pretty good special teamer. That's kind of how he's stuck in the league a little bit.
Yeah, but with that size and speed and strength, I mean, yeah, he's a prototype.
Yeah. And then the highlight for me was Ben Summerin against Jeremiah Trotter Jr., two of the better special teamers they had. BVS had a great rep toward the end as a blocker, just stood up Jeremiah Trotter, and everyone kind of went nuts.
Especially you.
And the last note I had, Elijah Cooks, a receiver who you probably don't even know who he is, but one of those guys, bottom of the roster, had a great grab, contested catch on the sideline in the developmental period at the end of practice. And the coolest part about it is A.J. Brown, and I think it was Danny Gray, were just like mobbing him after the play. It was the final play of the day. Yeah,
that stuff is cool. And this team does that. I mean, the veterans are so supportive of the fringe guys, whether it's on the sideline or, meetings. I mean, it's good to see. It's good culture, to use an overused word.
Did you like my stupid observation of the day?
I was wrong. I always guess what it's going to be.
What did you guess today?
I thought it was going to be when Adoree Jackson wouldn't sit down in the chair.
That was good.
So he got up to we were interviewing him, got up to the chair on the podium, and it was like a puddle of sweat. And he's like, "Who was sitting here?" I was like, "Oh, Jay." Like, he's like, "I'm not sitting in that." And he's
gross.
He got on his knees. He's like, "I'll do the interview like this," and they finally got him another chair. But yeah, that was. I had that earmarked for stupid observation.
I went with a different sweat related.
Yes, similar.
Yeah. So after practice on Military Day, each player hands over their jersey to a pre-selected serviceman or woman who's been chosen. And Landon hands his jersey to this lady, and it is like dripping with sweat. And he was like profusely apologizing to this poor lady who now has this like just disgusting jersey in her possession.
You think she'll wash it or throw it out?
Well, you wash it, I would hope.
The Military Day goes back to Andy started that like 20 years ago. And it's just a nice day. And it's just a cool day. And I know Harbs started doing it after he left Philly. I always enjoy it.
It's pretty cool. I was doing like a fun little straw poll of reporters today. Which would be like the best jersey to get? Like you're one of the people there, and you get a name. What's the best one?
Well, it would be Hurts.
It's Jalen, right?
Yeah.
Well, you could make a case for like Saquon or AJ.
You could.
I think getting the red jersey is pretty cool.
That would be special.
Yeah. And I also asked a bunch of them for the worst one, but we won't have to get into some of those answers. Let's take a break. And I want to hear what you thought from Jalen Hunt and Kevin Patullo and every player we spoke with after practice.
You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we've got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store and NissanUSA.com today.
We're back on the Eagle Eye Podcast, presented by Nissan. Day 3 of training camp in the books. Before practice began, we spoke to Kevin Patullo for the first time during training camp. Any takeaways?
Yeah, I like talking to Kevin. His daughter's like a golf prodigy.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter is a junior in high school and goes all over the country winning tournaments. And stuff.
Yeah. Bo Wolf did a story about her a few years ago. Excellent. Yeah, she's really good. She's
going to be on the Golf Network, Golf Channel, which I should get that right since it's an NBC channel. It's or NBC Universal. And she said she routinely beats her dad, who's pretty avid golfer himself. But anyway, I was really interested. Jordan Mailata mentioned the other day what an emphasis there's been on the huddle operation, getting out of the huddle. He was asked how the offense can get better. He said, we're working on getting out of the huddle quicker, getting to the line of scrimmage quicker, and having more time to diagnose what the defense is doing and get ready for the play. He said he thinks that's really important. I asked Kevin about that, and I wasn't sure how he'd react, but he agreed, and he said it's something that's important to us. It's a big priority this offseason and coming into training camp, and he thinks it'll make a big difference. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, along those lines, I meant to mention it earlier, just like little operational things. They pumped in crowd noise today. It was really loud.
You think?
And typically they use music during camp, but that's more like you want to hear music when you're working out and playing football. But this was crowd noise with the purpose of going silent count.
Yeah, and the crowd noise was actually better than some of the music they played. But this is how loud. I don't know if that does that. Why is that like backwards? But I guess it would be. It's a camera.
Rube's learning how cameras work today.
I know. But yeah, the speed. I don't know if I've ever heard louder speakers.
Yeah, they're very loud. I was standing too close to them today. I gave up. I had to leave.
I saw you over there. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Even like when you have to walk behind them to get to a different part of the field, and like you try to time it, like when they go dark, and you just kind of run across. But yeah, I think crowd noise is more of a challenge than having loud music. I think it better prepares you for silent count and that kind of stuff.
I don't know. So the one thing I've always heard some players tell me about music is it adds a layer of concentration, because if you like the song, you start to like say the words or like your dance, like it takes you out of it a little bit. Whereas crowd noise is just loud.
That's why Chip Kelly started it. I remember him saying he started it back in 2013 because there was never any music at Lehigh. His first year was the first year at NovaCare. And we asked him, why do you blasting music during practice? He said, focus, concentration. If they can navigate through that, they can handle game day. So it's not about like entertainment or anything like that. It's about getting them ready to play and deal with distractions.
I think it's become a little bit entertainment.
Maybe.
Yeah.
See, I'm not going to say, but yeah, it's, if it works, it works. It's really loud.
It is very loud. Kevin Patullo. The other thing, newsworthy, I thought was that he's going to call plays from the sideline. You always kind of wonder that with a first-time coordinator, what they're going to do. He said it's a lot about being with the quarterback between series, which makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen guys do it different ways, upstairs and downstairs, but yeah, he was pretty strong about being on the field. Mm-hmm. I like that. I'd rather have him there. I mean, it's about comfort level for the coach, but
I don't know if I have a preference.
I just think it makes more sense than, like, if you want to express something to the quarterback, you don't want to do it over radio. You want to do it in person. Look in his eyes.
Okay. Yeah, I see both sides of it. I think there are some advantages of being higher up and kind of seeing the whole field and seeing what the defense is doing a little bit better. But that's why you have the tablets on the sideline too. Right. Anything else from Patullo that really stood out to you?
Yeah, he spoke highly of A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon, I mean, he's healthy. The next, no issue. I think he looks pretty good. He looks quick. A month ago, I don't know if he's going to make the team. He's obviously going to make the team, and I think he's going to have a role. And I spoke highly of him. So I don't know how much of a role behind Saquon, but they talk like he's a part of the offense. So that tells you they have plans for him.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I really had from Patullo. After practice, we talked to a bunch of different players. I think you and I would agree Jalix Hunt was probably the most interesting of the group.
Yeah, boy, he has really come out of his shell. He talked for quite a while.
I don't know if he was ever really in that shell. He did answer his draft call by saying, "What's up, Big Pimpin'?" to Howie Roseman. So
he did, but really interesting. He talked about going to the Pass Rush Summit in Vegas that Von Miller, Max Crosby, I think, do it every year. Here's a guy who's got how many career sacks? 1.5 regular season, 1.5 postseason, and he's around Max Crosby, and Willie McGinnis was there. He went through all the names of the guys that were there, and that's got to be so valuable for him. And he talked for a while about just how he was picking guys' brains and just learning techniques and learning how to set up moves. And he's become a real technician. He said last year the offseason was about getting in shape and get ready for training camp. This year it was about really learning how to play the position, and takes that very seriously. And Nolan was there as well in Vegas. And it was really cool to hear him talk about it. He was just like glowing, talking about these other edge rushers. And I think it's going to pay off in a big way. How can it not, being around those kind of guys?
Yeah, I'm always fascinated about edge rushers and their moves, and if they have a pass rush plan, and like how they go about filling up their toolbox with everything they can do. And Jalix, you have to, this is where we talk about, he was a safety at Cornell a few years ago. So he hasn't had a chance to really develop his style as a rusher. And he's really enjoying that process. And that's important because it takes extra work to get there as that type of edge player.
Yeah. And what do you think that the Cornell secondary coach is thinking when he sees these stories about, Jalix Hunt learning from Max Crosby and Cam Jordan?
I don't know if it's the secondary. I think it's probably their outside linebackers coach was going, man, I could use that guy.
Yeah, it's just one of the craziest stories. But I just love his passion for the position and the game, and just learning and getting better. And the fact that he was at this thing and he's got 3 career sacks and he's around these guys with, 100. Von Miller's got to have 150 career sacks, probably more than that. So yeah, really cool to hear him talk about it. And he was just beaming, talking about meeting these guys and learning from them, and Nolan too. Nolan was there, and it's last year you had Josh Sweat, you had BG, and you had Bryce Huff, and this is a new era for that position. And obviously Nolan played a lot last year, but it's exciting to see what these two guys are going to do.
Von Miller career sacks
180?
No, less. 129.5.
Oh, okay.
By the way, I meant to mention Gerald McCoy. Did I mention?
Yeah, no.
He was at practice today, works for NFL Network.
Oh, okay.
And there was a moment, him and Fletcher Cox were on the sideline chatting to each other. 12 Pro Bowls between the two of those guys.
6 apiece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both really good at the same time in the league.
Yeah.
That was Jalix. Talk to Jihaad Campbell a little bit. Says he expects to be on the field when the team goes into pads next week, which we had kind of questioned that a little bit, just knowing it's a shoulder injury and wondering why they still listed him as a limited participant. But he said he expects to be out there. He's mostly focusing on linebacker during practice, but we do see him, after practice working with Jeremiah Washburn, the outside linebackers coach, a little bit, trying to hone his skills as a rusher, but focusing on inside backer right now.
Yeah, it's all encouraging with him, and it's exciting. I mean, you want to see your first round pick and what he can do, and we're about to see that Monday next week. So, yeah, he's the guy. I think when the pads go on, I mean, he's like he's like number one that I'm going to have my eyes on.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And it should coincide with him getting more and more opportunities with that first team defense.
Yeah.
Talked to Jeremiah Trotter Jr. a little bit today. Kind of the flip side of that, he's the guy been getting all those reps. And he's taken everything in stride. Like he's not getting ahead of himself, which would be easy to do one way or the other. Like he could start to feel like, hey, I deserve to be the starter, or he could be looking over his shoulder, worried about the rookie they drafted in the first round. But it doesn't seem like he's doing that. It seems like he's just appreciating playing next to Zach Bone right now. I should mention he said that him and Zach have been like taking turns calling the defense. So that green dot, and Campbell said that he's been learning both of the positions as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I missed both those guys. I was talking to other guys at the time, but I love Trot's mentality. And obviously he was raised around the game, and he's been around the game all his life. We haven't seen his dad yet. He says his dad's out of town. Hopefully see his dad next week. But yeah, I think he's handled the whole thing really well, from getting here and having that name and that number. And there's going to be comparisons. He's not his dad. But I think he's got a chance to be in this league for a long time, and his mentality really helps.
Mm-hmm. Anything else from the other guys that stood out to you? I missed a lot of it too. I can tease it a little bit. My Surviving Camp series will start on Monday. Do I want to say who it is?
I think maybe.
Okay. It's Miles Hinton this year, rookie offensive tackle from Michigan. And I got to chat with him today after practice, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's going to be a fun series. It always kind of depends on, first, how willing that player is to deal with talking to me weekly during camp, but also like their personality. And I think he has a really good one to make this series a lot of fun. Now,
did you explain to him that everyone you've talked to has made the team?
I have not. I didn't tell him that, but maybe one day I will. Like during the summer, be like, hey, I have a pretty good track record. Don't screw this up for me.
Selling point. Yeah, it's a really fun series. Check it out. It'll start Monday. I talked to Sydney and Keeley as well. About the same thing. They're in the same position. They're competing. And we talked to Dory Jackson as well. But as far as the young guys, just kind of they both talked about how they embrace the competition. It makes everybody better. Dory Jackson said, we're all competing with each other, but like everybody's helping everybody else. He said, when you're in a meeting room, it's not like you're competing with this guy. You're helping him. If he has a question, the other guys are answering, and we just want to all get better, and then they can sort it out. It's a really healthy. It's not easy to do that. It's healthy. It's good. High tide raises all ships and all that. If you're going to throw out iron sharpens iron, I'll throw out the tall ships, all ships, not tall ships.
Tall ships.
Yeah. Well, it does
sailboats,
raise tall ships as well. But it's been impressive talking to all of them, and we'll see how it sorts out. But they've got some good options.
Cool. You want to get to some questions and then wrap this up? You have one for us. It's Eagle-eyed NBC Uni.
By the way, I'm going to interrupt. At this point, the last two pods, we did the promotion for the Cole Hamels no-hitter. That was incredible. Did you see any of it?
Yeah, it was very cool.
It was congratulations to everybody who worked on that. It was so good.
Eagle-eyed NBCUni.com.
I know you hate when I interrupt you.
I mean, I was in the middle of the email address.
So what? Life goes on, Dave.
It apparently does. QR code is on the screen. First one from Joe. Dave and Rube, loving the daily pods and hearing about the position battles. How are the other rookies looking aside from Jihaad Campbell and Andrew Makuba? Anything worth noting on Ty Robinson or any of the other later round draft picks?
Yeah, Ty Robinson's really big. That's what
I know Barrett's been a big fan.
Barrett loves him.
Yeah. Barrett's been a big fan of him. And the one thing, Barrett it was like day one of camp, I'm standing next to Barrett and we looked and heavy hands. Like Ty loves to hit people.
Yeah.
And his handwork is a lot of fun. So it's like more advanced than you'd expect from a rookie, but he is an older rookie with a lot of college experience.
Yeah. 5 years, right?
Yeah.
The other guys, you kind of want to wait till the pads go on. for the other rookies. Just
for the linemen probably, and for Powell Ryland.
Yeah.
I have Mac McWilliams has been playing inside and outside a little bit. There was one play on day 2 where he was matched up against Johnny Wilson, and the size disadvantage got him there.
He's a slot.
Being DPI. Well, yeah, and it's kind of the tricky thing with him because his body type is that of a nickel corner, but he primarily played outside in college, did a little bit of it as a Senior Bowl. So he's kind of being projected to play as the nickel. They might look, at a certain point, they might need him to really just be a nickel, because if he can develop into a good one, maybe at some point Cooper Jean plays outside. At least it gives you that option.
Yeah, it's possible.
Anything else on the rookies?
No. I mean, for linemen, you really it's all about the one-on-ones.
Yeah.
That's where and I can't wait to see them with the pads on. That's always a highlight of camp.
Oh, I guess McCord, he's looked okay.
Yeah.
He hasn't been perfect, but he's making some good throws.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been fine. I thought Tanner had a tough day today.
Uncharacteristically. Yeah, just some missed throws. Yeah. But I thought him and Jalen also, I think both of them had their worst days out of the 3, which doesn't mean a whole lot.
Right.
Yeah. Next one from Emma. Hi, Dave and Rube. I just remembered that Derek Barnett is still in Houston, where CJ has been traded. Knowing CJ's talent for trash talking and Derek Barnett's history of training camp fights, I immediately landed on this question. Which former Eagle in Texans training camp is more likely to start a fight? And are there bonus points if they fight each other?
2 guys on defense getting into a fight?
It could happen.
Could happen. I would always answer Derek Barnett to that question.
Yeah, Barnett's the answer.
Yeah.
Not to say that CJ won't mix it up, but he's also trying to probably be on his best behavior a little bit right now. And man, Derek,
he's probably already gotten to a couple.
He was fun during camp. He played with an edge.
He did.
And he taught us something about some of the linemen. We learned something looking back. We learned something about Andre Dillard in that whole thing.
Yeah. I also think he's the kind of guy who, when you look back, he's had a long career, but was his 2017 draft pick?
Barnett, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he ever developed the array of moves to be an elite player. He kind of... it's funny because that was kind of the thing that he was supposed to be really far along in that development when they used that. What was he, 14th? Yeah.
Something like that?
Yep.
Michael Bauer. Hey, Dave and Rube, love the pod. I was wondering what your favorite training camp battle of all time was from your time covering the team. Appreciate all the great episodes.
For me, it was some of the quarterback battles. I mean, when you have 2 quarterbacks in camp who are, even if it's like Rodney Peete versus Bobby Hoying and Coy Detmer, when you have quarterbacks competing, it's just really fun. So it would probably be some of those.
It's funny. I've never really covered a quarterback battle like that in my time covering the Eagles.
Kevin Cobb and Michael Vick.
Yeah. It's funny. So I came back
Randall
here.
And Jaws.
I came back here in 2015. I didn't cover that training camp. So 2016 was my first training camp back. And 2016 was a weird one because they had there wasn't really a competition during camp, at least not like an outward one, because eventually it became Carson Wentz. But during that camp, it was Sam Bradford the whole way.
When was he traded? Pretty
late.
Like Bridgewater got hurt, right?
Yeah. It was pretty late in the...
Remember Chase Daniel when they traded Bradford, he thought he should have been number 1.
Yeah. It was in September.
Oh, wow.
It was right before the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there wasn't really I guess Carson in a way was competing to show that he was ready for when Bradford got traded, but it wasn't really an outward competition.
Where they're both getting reps.
And then the next few years were obviously Carson. And then it went to Jalen. I haven't really covered a quarterback battle like that.
Well, maybe you will next year.
I doubt that. Which one came to my mind, and it wasn't a good period of Eagles football, especially at this position, but it was, I think, 2011, Jamar Chaney and Brian Roll. And it was just a good competition because those guys are cousins.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
They didn't know they were like blood cousins until they came to Philly and they started to talk about like people they knew and family members. They're like, wait a second, we're related. And then they ended up battling for a starting linebacker job.
My favorite, I remember I guess it was Lehigh. Yeah, it had to be Lehigh, where they set up a garbage can like 40 yards down the field, and all the quarterbacks were trying to throw the ball into the garbage can. And what year was Hoying? It was like 98. Those three are probably 98. Hoying threw it, and he missed it by like 10 yards. And then Coy threw it, and he was probably 10 yards short. And then Rodney Peete just walks up with this big smile on his face and just throws it up in the air. And it just goes right in the middle of the garbage. And that's how we knew he was the best quarterback in camp.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Who's the best arm talent quarterback you've covered in camp?
Just pure arm talent?
Just pure arm talent.
Probably Randall.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Over Vic?
I mean, Vic was just, God, he could just stand there and wouldn't even move his
legs.
I mean,
it's hard to imagine it being prettier than when Vic would throw a pass.
And something about coming out left-handed.
Yeah.
But Randall had a rocket launcher.
Mm-hmm.
And Vince Young, I don't know if he was in camp. He had a strong arm, but he didn't know where it was going. They had a guy named Ben Brown who had one of the strongest arms I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. But again, he was like an undrafted rookie. He just didn't know where it was going. But I'd say Randall.
Okay. That's fun.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap this one up. If you have a question for us, eagleeye@nbcuni.com. If you enjoy the Eagle Eye podcast and you appreciate daily pods during training camp, please rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the like button and subscribe there as well. Rube, any final thoughts?
No, can't wait for Monday. Got a little day off. You have any plans tomorrow? You going for a hike or anything?
I don't have any plans. Get some work done, and then if it's nice, I'd like to be outside a little bit.
It's going to be hot next week.
Is it?
There'll be some hot practices.
All right. It'll really separate those who want to be there, huh, Rube?
The men from the boys, as they say.
All right. For Rube and Frank, I'm Dave Zangaro. This has been Eagle Eye presented by Nissan. Enjoy the day off. We'll talk to you next week.